Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to the real King of CAS, America. So you've seen me dabbling in the Deutsche powers and the Nihon Maestro of low-tier jets with the Kika. And here you see, of course, the true masters of close air support. 5.7 America is truly beast mode. I think we're actually in a 6.0 because I have the AD4 in my lineup, but hush hush. This is going to be something of an up tier in this match, but we'll be completely fine with that. We start off with the Walker Bulldoge, and my American version, as you can tell from the lack of artillery support, is not even spaded. I know, travesty! How have I not played this tank so much in the American tree? And the answer is, I never needed it. There's a little thing called the M18, and even the Super Hellcat, now that I have that golden card to slip into my lineup. And yet, the Walker Bulldog, such a good tank. One of the downsides to my addiction to golden name tags is that I spend less time in the truly quality regular tech tree vehicles that are available. We bounce a shot, and our tank crew told us that one damaged the weapon, but literally no weapon on this vehicle is damaged, so just going to go ahead and chalk that up to Guy Jiggles having a laugh with us as the RU-251 gets booped in the snoot with our defensive booping device, and he retreats back into cover. The other side of that hill quickly filling with enemy vehicles as well as the flank, and we're in a somewhat sticky position. We definitely don't want to advance in any direction, and yet from this low defilade, we can scout enemy vehicles using our binoculars in a little bit of sense. We can third-person view where the enemy is advancing from. This is a reasonably strong defensive position unless the enemy pushes hard, and with the close proximity of our supporting vehicles to our rear, they're not able to push hard without consequence. So this is a perfect spot to dig in as a scouting vehicle. And of course our goal is to get into some CAS here. Now obviously we were not the first to the capture zone, so the enemy team is going to have dibs on that, but that's perfectly fine. If you can't be the first mouse before anyone else shows up, it's even better to be the second mouse. I have a video on that, by the way. Anyway, light tank strategy aside, we catch a Tiger 2, looks like a 105, pushing up a bit too aggressively. We go for the safe strategy, which is to go for the center of the turret, which will take out the breach, and often the gunner, possibly loader, with our APDS, and that's exactly what we accomplish. Firing into the smoke, no sauce, that's too bad. I know there's an RU-251 in that vicinity, but he probably wisely backed down when he saw that I was pushing toward this ridge. So, one very useful tactic when dealing with a snow map is to use your binoculars to let you know when your gun barrel has crested the rise. There's about, let's call it about a foot of snow in game that does not register as solid terrain, as you can see from the tracks that we're making, and that also applies to shell collision. So when you fire your main gun, of course, if you hit the ground, the round is nullified in one way or another. But if you see that little circle, if you look at our reticle, you see the large circle, which is where we're indicating for the gunner to aim, and the small circle, which is where the gun is actually aiming at the time. If you see the small circle in your binocular view, if you look there, it tells you that the gun is colliding with the terrain at that relative point. If you're cresting a rise and you're in binocular view, you can use the small circle to let you know when your gun has passed the close range terrain and moved up to enough elevation to where it can clear the hill. And this is a serious advantage because the top of your tank may not be visible to the other team when your gun barrel has cleared the snow level. So that is very useful in some cases when you're in these defensive positions on one side of a rise. Use your binoculars, aim toward where the enemy vehicle is, see when that second circle pops up. You can see us watching for it now, hoping to get a look at those tigers, but we don't, so we just spot them instead. Now you can see there's the second circle popping up, and we get a nice shot into the STA 2, I think. And then we get taken down by a flanking tiger, which is holding down the main point. And speaking of the main point, our goal was to get into an aircraft in this battle, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Did I call this American 5.7? I meant to say 6.3. That's right, Super Hellcat and the T-28, two very powerful premiums, along with the weaknesses that come with them, so they are still balanced at that battle rating. You can complain all you want about the T-28 and how very, very effective its frontal armor is, and then I will laugh at you because you don't know about its great weakness, the massive gun barrel that's easy to take down, and its very weak side armor when compared with what it has in the front. We see the skies busy with enemy aircraft, one of them obligingly crashing into the ground for us. That's always delightful to see. You know, I'm used to seeing that in allied teams and a little bit less in Axis. We hold off on the bombs there in our first pass, seeing that they'd be wasted and not wanting to team kill right now. So we drop throttle, pop flaps, do a nice tight loop here in the vertical, line up our vertical attack, drop bombs, and pull out of our dive before crashing into the ground, giving us that nice double kill with plenty of time to aim our ordnance, and also enough to slide out of that dive without crashing into the ground or tail slapping a tree. I know, even I can learn things. So that was a beautiful demonstration of a dive bomb attack. Again, you really do want to drop that throttle, pop those flaps in the top of your loop, drop your flaps back down into normal flight position as you're doing your dive with your throttle still low, and then pull smoothly out of your dive and return your throttle to the wet position as you exit the dive. Pulling out of a dive is the most important part of dive bombing. Even if you miss, at least you can try again. And you see, I haven't told you that our goal is actually to kill SPGs, as that's a special task for today. And as we take some fire, we line up our guns on that DO 335, get a nice lead here, and a critical hit. Could that end up with a kill? We don't need to worry about it. We have plenty more time to be on target. AD4 handles so smoothly at low speeds. That DO really didn't stand a chance. Speaking of, there's not all that much we can do against a BF-109 G2 on our tail, but we've already harvested tons and tons of spawn points with our 3 ground kills and our nice little aircraft kill that got handed to us by the DO. Of course, that arrow's mistake was that while he was flying in skies that were busy with enemy aircraft, he did not keep his speed up, and he committed to a turn when he was being fired on. DO pilots, if you're in a large turn, instead of pulling that 180 or 360, just take it into the a straight line flight and dolphin a bit. That really is your best chance, especially at a higher battle rating. So that is my advice to you. Now, we are in the amazing P-47M. This thing really does feel like a jet with how much power it's able to produce, how much low altitude even speed it can build in a very short amount of time. It almost flies like a 6.3 Kika, if you can pardon the comparison, with, of all things, a much higher ground strike loadout, preferable guns, and that poor AA wasn't targeting us, so we definitely targeted him with 2 1,000-pound bombs, and that's certainly sufficient for the task. Picking up our next ground kill of the match, our first in the P-47, but maybe not our last, we'll have to see. Panther 2, and we dropped the bomb, and I knew this wasn't going to be a good bomb drop, but I wanted to ditch that anyway because I see enemy aircraft in the distance. We get low, and look how quickly we go up to 300 miles per hour. Checking, It looked like that enemy dot was not closing very quickly, so we play the field here. We see a 410 at, just a bit above us and low on energy. I know that we can beat him in the energy game, especially with the way he's turning aggressively here. But we are going to need to stay out from in front of his guns, so we pop flaps, go for a quick pass, and already the British, whatever that is, was that a Tempest? I can't quite tell from this view, takes him down for us. Nice assistance there from our British ally. So things are going nicely for us in the air. Again, we've harvested a great amount of spawn points, and just look how quickly the P-47M picks up speed. Again, even at low altitude, these are almost jet levels of thrust, and of course the P-47M has much better low speed handling than jets you'll face at this battle rating, so it really is a very, very powerful platform. You've seen me playing quite a bit of the Japanese CAS aircraft. You've seen me playing the Germans, and I've got to say, coming back to the American tree and bringing all of the skills that I built while playing those less powerful CAS aircraft has really showed me just how amazing the Kings of CAS can be. Look at the amount of spray and pray we can do with these 850 cals mounted in the wings. That poor Lord Arado just got shredded, and look at all the ground fire coming up around us as our allies attempt to hepping us with the enemy aircraft and just about end up helping us to have some holes in our fuselage from friendly fire. But they really don't have much else to do, as the ground battle has degenerated into the spawn camping fiesta that this map is known for, with its very open spawn positions, easy to flank, and small map size in general. This is not a ground battle map that I would prefer, but it's just peachy for CAS because you know where the enemy's going to be. So at this point, I'm expecting most of the sensible enemy players to spawn in the air. And again, look at this. We're at almost 350 miles per hour on the deck after maneuvering within seconds. Just incredible the amount of grunt this P-47M engine has. I love the way that America was like, we need a faster airplane. Just give it the biggest radial possible. Meanwhile, in Germany, they're pushing their inline engines much, much further than they should have been. And you know what? A radial on the Ta-152 is enough if he has the positioning advantage. He dropped down from higher altitude and we never even saw him coming. But we've accomplished all the ground strike we feel like. Again, I'm expecting that the enemy is going to spawn mostly in the air, at least for the people that have any kind of sense. I wouldn't want to be on the ground in the spawn camping fiesta that's going on right now. So we're going to spawn in the Spitfire. We noticed a Squad MGB player on the team, so I'm letting him know about the MGB interview that you can find on my YouTube channel. I don't ever recommend something to someone that I don't think they'll really enjoy. So the Arado, I recommend getting DACA'd. I think that's what's best for him. And we spot that Ta-152 down below us in a beautiful position for us to take him down. We line ourselves up, which is not at all difficult to do in the Spitfire LF Mark 9. Open up with a quick burst, a sustained burst even, as we take off a wingtip. He's below us and he's into the trees. We end up getting a kill assist for that one. I guess an enemy got more hits in him than we did, but it's not like I'm bitter. I see one profile below me. Not sure if that's an ally or enemy, but I think in the end I saw a little bit of a tag show up there. You can tell that I've tried to minimize the UI. I really wish that I could see through the cap zone markers. I really don't care about that when I'm in an aircraft, and that huge holographic sign can obscure ground targets quite a bit. Opening up with the machine guns on a Ferdinand just because we can. I wouldn't mind picking up another kill assist, even though it looks like that's not going to be the case with half a dozen allied aircraft as you see us just inundating the skies with fantastic CAS and anti-CAS aircraft. The Allies definitely controlling the airspace in this one, although it was not uncontested by our Teutonic foe. So we had a great time in this one. I have not told you for the first time how much I enjoy American 6.3 with my golden lineup at this battle rating. But you know what? Coming back to it feels so nice. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.